live on a thirsty Thursday. I am hostess with the mostest, the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, lightworker, Starseed, earth angel, mystic, medium, psychic, witch, yogi, guru, evangelist, North American Sybil, the first child of God, the messenger of God. I am Lilith, reincarnated. In order to keep up with me, you had to catch all the funness of yesterday. What happened? I released the gates of hell. No, I didn't. I just told you what was going on around you that you can't see. I am the High Priestess. I tell you what's going on. What's going on? Anyways, you'd have to see all that bullshit. All the bullshit I put in my community page, and go watch some shorts because they're funny too. Take a breath. Everybody breathe in, breathe out. Alright, so I told you I was going to teach you about the dimensions. Man, I had one. Me and Puff so hard. Fuck, we was talking shit in the car. In the sense of, listen here, Linda. I am Lilith, the serpent that gave Eve the apple of knowledge and wisdom. So here I am, one more time. This is some bullshit. I hate when I gotta teach you this type of shit, because you can't even accept the easy shit that's already, I've got to teach 3D earthlings about the multi-dimensions. I can't even get them to get off their own fucking brain, let alone onto another fucking conscious wavelength. This sucks. Talk about hell on earth, bro. How long you gotta do this? For the rest of my life? I gotta fuck shoving the apple down your throat. And you don't even get it. Hey, we got a new person. Hey, I'm not very friendly. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm your spiritual healer, teacher, and all that shit. And I'm a witch and a bitch, and I'm dark and evil and gross and nasty. But people like it, so, you know, that works too. Anyways, fuck off. I'm supposed to teach you about the other dimensions beyond your reality. Bro, you're not real. This whole thing isn't real. This is so stupid. That's why I have such a hard time living a life here. Why? Because I have the power to leave this body and do whatever the fuck I want. But then when I come back in the body, I can't do shit but sit here and pray to God all day. Like, what do you do all day? I told you. Astral traveling. I'm in the multiverse. I'm everywhere. Everywhere and nowhere. Anyways, we were talking about something. I don't know where it came up. 2 days ago, we came up and they said something about the 3D. I was like, yeah, that's you guys. I was like, last time I checked, I was in the ninth dimension. And then something popped up yesterday, and I shared it. And the 9th dimension is with Source. Well, it sounds like I only went through 9 levels, but there is literally hundreds and hundreds of levels to get there. Like, I don't know. There was a milestone that I found was just unreal, that there was like the 126th level, which was an ultimate fucking, you know what I mean, test. It's a test of your, I don't know, humility. And I was told that's probably where Kanye failed. So think back that far. You know what I mean? How far did he really get? And he got to the 126th level and failed. So really, where are we? How many levels, how many devils do you have to go through to get to the light? When did I get back to the light? In Oklahoma. But then I had to come back to reality. That's the hard thing. So you know what I mean? I try to tell everyone all the time, I am your messenger of God. I sit up there with all the fucking, you know what I mean, the cosmics, you know, and I watch shit. I talk shit, but I just watch shit. Like, what do? I just watch, bro. Just watch everything. Like everything. So before this, I shared this video of Dr. Strange, when Stephen Strange, she's like, open your eye. And it's a perfect example because nobody believes in such shit. I don't believe in chakras. I spent all my life to look for healing, and this is what I got. Yeah, the power of belief. Do you know who Christ is? And that's what you come over here like, what the fuck are you talking about, bitch? I'm talking about fucking owning the power that's within you. Alright, so I didn't know how I was going to put this into words. I mean, it's all in one book, but we need more than one book. I mean, pictures and fucking songs and all kinds of shit to make it a, you know, you gotta talk to the children here, make it a whole puppet show. Pull out the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right, Bobby? Can't stand you. Alright, how does this work? Well, as you're descending into your darkness, you're actually, They're showing me the stupidest fucking image that I just... Okay, where's that image? They're showing me where to show it to you. This is dumb. This is dumb. Okay, but it makes sense. Give me a second. I have to show you images. Like, how can I put this into Word? I'm not painting a picture when they already did. They gave me an image to give to you. I just gotta find it. That's what I'm trying to do here, is like, how do I explain this to the Earthlings? It's this. That's what they tried to show me. You see how they were trying to show me this, the mirror. How it'll drip right back in. So even though you're descending, you're ascending at the same exact time. You're flipping the universe. In the essence, think about it like this way. Like I tell Russ, you're digging a grave to China. He'll still come up on top somewhere else. If you keep digging, and you keep digging, and you keep digging, you're going to strike gold. Is that a Colorado thing? I mean, there's more than gold in those, there's more than gold in those mountains. In the sense of our hills have eyes. And it's just like that. It's like as you're going through all of your darkness, you're ascending to the light. You just don't know it. You think you're just going darker and darker. You're looking for light, but when you get there, it's fucking God. You literally went through the pits of hell and somehow made it to heaven. Truthfully, I swear to you. You have to understand the teachings. That's exactly what Dante said happened. It's exactly what Carl Jung said happened. That's what everyone that does this self-exploration happens. The further you go into your darkness, the more light you find. Going back to my Lilith cards, it's like the soul's true gold is at the other end. But you can't give up and that's the worst part, is you got to just keep going. You have no idea how long this is going to take. I really thought I could do it in the summer. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know what was in there. Ultimately, I never did. So how could I put in an expectation on something I didn't even know, an outcome, right? And in the essence, that's what you need to understand is every week, the more that I go in, right, the freaking more I come out. And that's that trip. We're about to take this deep, dark journey. Today, no, we're getting powered up by it. Underneath the freaking expansion of Jupiter. It fills you up with all this love. It gets your powers right. What have I been doing? Dancing all morning, having the best morning of my life. They get you all filled up with all this love and joy and happiness. They got to fill you up with light. And you've got to carry that light into your darkness, bro. And that's going to be a Friday then. Saturday, Sunday. What happens? Well, tomorrow we'll face our demons. Okay? I'm going to try to walk you through all of this and how this looks. Now, as you're going through your darkness, and that's what I teach you is how to go through your darkness, you start activating light. Okay? Thank you, Two of Cups. What's the Two of Cups? Union. You come into union with yourself. The more you take off of yourself, it doesn't sound, and that's why everything is paradoxical in that stupid movies like that doesn't make any sense. It's not supposed to. Not everything has to make sense for your small fucking mind. I can't always put a picture or a word on this. You have to just trust the process. In the sense of, you're becoming whole. The more you break your life apart, the more you put it back together. In the sense of you're breaking the life apart. You're breaking out of this reality. And then we spoke about that in my tarot readings yesterday. You're leaving the material world and becoming spiritual while still in the material world. I explained to how on the outside it looks like I'm destroying my life. And everybody's watching me and they're talking about it and they have lots to say, like you do Kanye. He's on a self-explorational journey that doesn't look so good on the outside. Unfortunately, he's got cameras all over him. His spirit did lead him to a fucking holy place, grounded in the dirt. It took him to the middle of Utah, Wyoming, one of those places. I think it was Wyoming, right? Made him buy a ranch and ground himself in the land. But he didn't know how to let go. So he brought that world he tainted the new world with his old world. And that's what happened to me. I had to leave my house. I had to leave my old world and start discovering this world, how to fit into this world without those behaviors. It's a reprogramming, and you are a child. You're a new child, which is the Fool card, but you have the wisdom of your higher self and all of your guides. So you're like the mother, the father, and the child. The whole Trinity is happening within you as you're being guided, and it's a self-exploration journey. As messy as Kanye looks, if he goes back in there and keeps digging and stops worrying about his outside world and digs real deep into his inside world and gets all of this out, he finds himself again, a version of himself that he didn't even know he was, more beautiful and loving and kind than ever could have imagined. His true soul essence is underneath all of this hardship. He's pulling the hardship out, the hard shit, but then he's blowing it out to the material world, and that's what happens. And that's exactly what happened with Marshall as he came out with this album, Russ with Santiago, Logic when he came out with his stuff. It's like their insides became flowing out of their outsides. Now, in essence, they were doing what I did. They saw that this was working for me, but they didn't realize. They saw the plus and not the negative of what it meant to do this type of work. And they got it, you know what I mean? And that's it. It's like they wanted to pour their hearts out, and that's what they were doing. They were digging deep into their hearts and pouring out the shit that they found in there. It's not necessarily the time in their position, where they are in their positions, isn't the crowd for that. They didn't, you know what I mean? It took me years to be able to speak properly. I came out talking stupid like Kanye too, not making no sense. You know what I mean? When you're trying to put it into words, everything you've seen beyond this world, and trying to, and Kanye started that how many years ago? There was interviews, and before he really, he would start telling people about that. And then there was people like Extension. He was woke. Woke people try to wake people, bro. But what happened is, like I said, during the waking process, when you're waking to yourself. And that's what happened. His self came out, his shadows. And now he's a shadow version of himself. And you do become that. You become the shadow version of yourself. You relive these experiences where you put it back on. Only so you can, empower yourself to fully take it off this time and not shove it underneath somewhere, wherever it came from. Right? Okay. Now, by doing this huge fucked up process, it's opening the gateways to the higher frequencies of love, forgiveness, compassion, understanding. No matter across the board of any religion, you know that those are the highest powers of whatever God they serve. Those are the gifts that people inherit from gods. You know what I mean? Joy, laughter, happiness, abundance. That's the definition of such things. You get this inside from yourself and your healing journey. And now you hit these higher planes of consciousness because you're not on lower vibrations. A lower vibration is just your hurt mentality. You know what I mean? The way you view things. This is all about perception. Right? How do you ascend? In essence, they would say it's through your mind, but it's not. It's a conscious and unconscious thing. When you leave the conscious mind and go into the unconscious levels, is how this works. So, I was leaving my conscious world and going into my unconscious to do healings in there, and that's my first video. Guys, you watched me do all of this work. You watched me work on my conscious, and now there's a bunch of unusual, unconscious things that are happening. So my first video, I start explaining how I have this intuition, how I'm meditating for hours and blacking out, how I'm seeing things, how time is going by, how my third eye is opening and I can't stop it. I'm just going around the universe seeing things in circles. And then it gets worse, where I can hear the collective voice of all things. I can hear people's thoughts being casted miles and, fucking hundreds of thousands of miles away. I'm connected with everything. I can hear the birds. I can hear traffic. I can hear everything. You know what I mean? Your clear senses just blow out of your body. How does all this happen? What I teach you, bro, all you're doing is cleaning out the dark, and all this light explodes inside of you. Alright, now let's try to somehow kind of paint a picture for you without giving you the whole documentary, which I have. Every part of this documented. How I got every power, how I was guided to every stone, how I learned everything. I didn't learn it in one way, it was pieces later. And the worst part, by the time I get a card or a book, it's only after I've been through the experience. My first tarot reader was Magnetize Yourself. I'd never heard tarot in my life. It just popped up on my YouTube screen. She just kept popping up and popping up. And I'm like, whatever. I don't know. So I click on it. And this bitch tells me exactly what I did yesterday. And I'm freaked out. How is this possible? What gets me weirded out more than that is when I get in the comments and I see that everybody lived this same life. They're all claiming this story. Details, full details, full details. This is their story. 32. What the fuck is happening? How does a person I don't know what's going on in my life, but yet all of us are living the same life? This is a collective reading, meaning you're on a collective energy. All of you are living the same lesson at the same fucking time. And it's in the cards. You're like, what? Yeah, bro, I started catching on real fast. But everybody thought I was crazy. You thought Kanye was crazy. The biggest conspiracy theory you've ever thought. It just kept getting deeper. The more I dug for it, the more truth I found. I was like, what the fuck is happening? And at that point, I was praying for an archaeologist or I was asking for Gandalf. Damn it! Gandalf, I need you! I was looking for a wizard at this point. There was nothing I couldn't, and I just had to keep trying to figure it out. Like, what the fuck is happening? Only later I would find, answers. So, like, I wish I had all of this guiding me through it. I blamed it on that book, Reclaiming Your Dark Goddess. I was like, this book did it. It should have came with a warning. As soon as I opened this book, it ruined my life. Nah, bro, I was already doing the work. It showed me how to do it. And that's how it is. Every time I read a page, I have a story that I already did this. So, again, I am on the highest frequency because I've already blown through all of this, and I'm teaching you at 3D level how to do this. I went from severely mentally damaged with personality disorders. I had to work through each. Think about this, though. In order for me to become sane, I had to work through multiple consciousnesses. So this is how I have an understanding of consciousness. I didn't have one consciousness. It had split. And similarly to my twin flame, Marshall Mathers, who has 3 consciousnesses. Mac Miller had them. Shock G. Who's Shock G? The Humpty. Humpty was another one of his, his altered egos. Your ego is a consciousness of your creation that you know what I mean? Most of you have one conscious. Those of us that had severe, childhoods, our brains split for protect, our consciousness split. I had multiple personalities. So I started working through multiple consciousnesses and then got into my unconscious. That's how this worked. And I teach you guys how to journey through your conscious, which is your hurts and feelings. These cards bring up mine because this is my current level where I gotta go. And I show you, you eyewitness me go into the dark night of the soul, how I alchemize it, what I'm visualizing, how I feel, the rage, the anger, the despair. You see me go through the whole level. Every Friday, go catch one. It's disgusting. I've been doing this for 3 years. You watch me go into the dark night of the soul, you watch me come out, and I pull out my gold. Which is a new perception, a new conscious, a new way of life. It all becomes from thought. All reality is from thought. If we change the way you think, we change the way your reality exists and those around you. Okay? So, how does this all happen? Just like the movie, your chakras. What the fuck is that? I'm telling you, I didn't know what it was either. Where's a simple way I can start with this? Well, there's no simple way, but I'm going to try to make it. I'm going to try to take you through this. I know you can't understand this. This is, by the time it gets to me and I can put it all together with all of this, nah, bro. Just try. Just try to accept some information. Just breathe in, breathe out. Let it go into your mind. Don't reject it. Okay, so starting with my archangels, right? Archangels. This is of the light. We start this journey, right? And the journey itself, I don't read the cards. I start doing them one by one. All of my cards. Let's take this little journey through these cards. One by one, we're going to read them together and see what they have to teach us, is how I teach my cards. As soon as I grab these bad boys, Archangel of the Black Ray. Now, it tells you where the chakra is, the galactic core 0 point. It tells you what we're working with, this Archangel. Right? Neutralizing negative energy, harmonizing protection, overcoming fears, manifestation, all of it. Tells you right away. That was the first one I got, was my black obsidian. It's in my purse. I don't want to bring all of these out right now. right? It tells you, you know, what oils. Now, even if you don't have the oil, you'll start noticing you've been drawn to this and putting more pepper or something on it, right? It shows you your sigils, and it tells you the constellation in the middle of the sky that you're tapped into. You were tapped into the bottom of, you know what I mean? When you start, you're at the galactic core, which is the 0 point, the nothing, the blackness, the darkness. That's where I live. I love that place. I love that place. Okay? That's where everything's creation starts. All right? And that's where? The black hole. Okay, so it tells you exactly where you are in your journey. And here comes your angels to walk you. Who is the first one? Sariel, the dark night of the soul. It teaches you what this level is about, a message, how to meet him, so how to meditate with him, how to make this connection, a visual connection, right? And how to take, after you make the visual connection, it's going to tell you how to take his power, how to visualize him passing his power, and what this means. Now, after you meet him, you're going to meet me, Isis, from the chaos. There I am. How did Isis bring Osiris back? I tell you this all the time, fuckers. I aligned his chakras. How did I know that? From the star beings, which we're going to get into, the Palladians. The Palladi stars. Okay, so then here's how you meet me. This is what I'm going to teach you, right? Each angel is here to teach you something, just as I taught you yesterday about the demons. All right? They're all here to teach you, right? You learn to meet me, what I have to give to you, and what it means to be with me. And then we move on through our chakras. We go through all of them, little by little. These I only read on Sundays. Why? Because the angels are on, you know what I mean? You hear the angels on a Sunday. So we go through all of this, right? 17th, we go through the diamond ray. Jesus, all those back there, those are from this book, okay? At the very end, you meet Melchizedek. He teaches you about the ascension, but by this time, you've already ascended completely, right? The consciousness, you see it right there? Okay, now, at the very end, the truly embody one's highest self, it takes light and courage and strength. When you step into this role, you become aware that you have a responsibility, not just to yourself, but for all life, to embody the divine human form and the highest level of spiritual attainment we can teach while here on earth. As a Melchizedek soul, your task is to heal, integrate, and all of your lifetimes within this current lifetime and become one with your God self. So then I knew you know what I mean? He gave me my purpose. Now, after I had finished the science of reincarnation, and we started the self-realization, and I got into all of the Vedic teachings, it confirmed. You are supposed to be, reawakening all your past selves and putting them into this life. Then I started seeing them play with my twin flames. And that's the activation of your Akashic records. Once you get to a certain level, that's what your new task is. Now, I made a really fucked up joke earlier, and I was like, I'm ready for the R&B Messiah. In the sense of, I've blown through all of them. And that's really funny as the succubus. I could have made a lot of good jokes to that. But I met my past life lovers. We did our little dance, and I moved on. I am going through all of these. How many lives have I integrated? Well, we just got Persephone, so now I'm up to 10. Truly, what's next? The Ishtar, which is very dangerous. Inanna, which is, again, Empress, but also reclaiming my sexuality. Where are we currently? Scorpio, sex, occult, all that stuff. These are just challenges. I'm reclaiming, again, my dark goddess, but all of my past lives to become my one true goddess to ascend in this life. As I do so, it is my task as a light worker and a starseed and an earth angel to teach you the ascension. Is it because of those, or is it because I'm Lilith and I've always done this? Well, let me tell you something. Let me give you the knowledge and wisdom. Okay, so you will want those. Now, as you get into these higher levels of healing, you're facing darker demons, but you're filled with more light. Then you start accessing higher levels of light frequencies. You're beyond the angels. You're in the tree of life. You've left the angels. You must understand the tree of life. goes the angels, the archangels, and then you go deeper. Where's that description? It's in the Notoria. Okay, hold on. I've got everything here now to explain it, but I mean, as I was going through it, no. I didn't have words for it. That was the hardest part. What the fuck is happening in my life? Let me see if I can find the Notorias. What's that? There are some tarots. Crazy tarots. Alright, let me see. I think it's in these they show it. Give me a second. Yeah, it does. Alright. Gosh, and it's so tiny. I can't really show you. I'm going to try to show you. Here's the Tree of Life by the Calabastic teachings, the mysticisms. Alright? Here is you. Humans. The earth plane. Right? And now this is the 7 chakra system, too. Here you are. You have your angels, so that'd be Pac and all my stuff. You have your archangels. Once you get past that, you're with your principalities, virtues. You're going through all of this. I told you, you are still here on the 3rd dimension in your 3rd dimensional consciousness. I am up here. Jesus lives right here. I'd be up here with God. I could go wherever I want. Why? Because I know how to. I have the serpent of the tree. I always have. They said in the beginning, I got kicked out of the cherubims. Shut up. And the seraphim is actually God's above the seraphim. And that's it. It's like, you really want to fuck with me? I don't fuck with you. Now, if you reverse this, Dante's Inferno, he describes it as up here is heaven. Right here is the 3D realm. And you are in the pits of hell. And that's what I tried to show you yesterday. Where were you guys? He said the 7th level. Where's the 7th? You're over here. Virtues or principalities. We told you that already. It's like, yeah, they drew us a map, but they spread it all out in all these cultures. And it's like, go get them, boys. What the fuck? And that's me. Nah, I know where to get it. I know where to find the truth. I can smell that shit. In the essence, no, they're guiding me to the truth. So that's how that works. Now, as you get through the higher levels of the chakra systems or whatever. Now, let me show you something here. Teach them more about this. I am. Hold on. Oh, shit, there's messages. Oh, shit, I got to teach you something I didn't see before. There's always something I didn't see before. Working with the cards. All right. When you get to this highest level with the Shekinah and Melchizedek, this is, again, the infinity. Outside of space and time is where this location is. The constellation is, you're literally with the sun and the great central sun, the source of light. When you get to this level, you are literally back in the motherfucking light. I fucking tell you, bitches. But let me see, what's before the light? Where Jesus is. Did you see Jesus? Christ, peace, all that shit. He's with the rainbow. Somewhere over. I'm past the rainbow, bro. It's the unified chakra. It's the universal field of oneness. Go back to my teaching, and it shows you where that level is. I think that's the 6th dimension. You're still very far off. I'm still way past you, bitches. Ooh, the iron. They are the judgment. Full judgment. I have had to sit in front of them. That when I say I'm at spiritual court, it's them. It's them. Where are they? The cosmic, far above the edge of the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, so when she pushes his third eye, it shoves him right on the outside of the Earth's atmosphere and shows him the layers of the atmosphere. She's like, wait, you ready? Time to go. And then there's all of those other layers of existence out there. When you get out there, you start tapping into, they start tapping into you, other beings. That's what happened to this bitch. She was studying the fucking consciousness of fucking dolphins and realized the correlation. All you got to do is make the connection. Now you're connected into something high dimensional. And that's what happened with Einstein. I'm hearing Tech 9. That's a good one. I guess he's a fan of the song. And that's what happened is your brain, you leave the typical thought process of a human. You explore the outer limits of your belief system until you enter a new consciousness of depending where you lay, where you stay. Nobody's gone as far as me. Why? I don't know. Because I guess I'm the only one that goes. I'm the one that leads you there, obviously. Now, again, you get into these higher levels of light frequencies. So these are states of being. And it really teaches you the alpha and there's the Shekinah, again, highest levels of light. These are all of the lights, right? But I'm trying to show you some of them. Right? There's Ishtar. That's probably where I'm about at. The Lion's Gate, 888. Well, no, I told you about the Lion's Gate. When does that happen? 818. And that's like the last one. It is. It's literally the 44. So then after that, you're like, well, where am I supposed to go from here? Oh, just wait. Here comes some weird beings to come take you on another level. Truly? Yeah, bro. One level at a time. They're the ones that teach you, and that's this. These take you deeper into your shadows. Do you see those weird indentions? Let me read about them here. Starseed. No, that's not it. The Lotus, Radical Expansion, Blueprints, Luminescence, Life Force Energy, Wholeness, Home, Grounding. Where are those damn... It's in one of these where it teaches you about the freaking crystals. There it is. Hidden Wisdom Codes, Potent Information, Lumerian Seed Crystals, Seeing Your Triggers as a Gift, Awareness of Drama-Creating Patterns, Healing the Earth by Looking at Your Inner Environment, Healing Through Awareness. Again, it's a polarity, because you're dealing with nothing but darkness, which is your own shitty feelings, and you're just... I don't know what happens when you guys start this, but I'm going to tell you, when it happens to me, everything goes black. Inside. I can still see the outside, but everything is black inside, and it's cold, and I know I'm fully alone. And I'm sitting in a darkness waiting for my next fear to walk around the corner and face it. It goes completely dark, right? I've been doing this for so long. I know when I'm going in, too. I can feel the coldness of my outside world where the spirit steps back, where I'm leaving the spirit now. I'm leaving now, I'm going into my shadows. Or it's just something I can tell when they're pushing me in it. You know what I mean? When Kobe's around the corner, I can feel it. It's a feeling. We got disconnected while we were talking about the darkness. What's happening? And it's just a feeling. I know when I'm going into the, I know when I'm in the light. I know when I'm going into the dark. I go into them both. And that's what it is. It's like I can go between the in-betweens of heaven and hell. I can tell you what my hell looks like, meaning my dark night of the soul, the room it is and what comes out of it and what I see in there, what it feels like in there. You know what I mean? But it's just a place, this too shall pass. So, while you're in there and all this darkness, there's all this light outside of you. And I've said it in other videos. They're not allowed, and I said it yesterday, even God. God is not allowed to interfere during your, your me time, which is when you make decisions. And when I'm in those places where nobody's allowed to be but me, this is my dark night of the soul. This is my devil. I have to face myself. Nobody can come in there and save me. I can hear your voice and that might bring me out of it, but I'm in it and you can't save me once I'm in there. I have to fight myself to get out. And sometimes, a few times, Pac has found a way to get in there and help me out. Meaning, sorry, my daughter just sent me. He'll show up in the darkest of night. He can make himself visible in there when nobody else can. It's inside of me. It's inside of my consciousness. He can go into a place inside of me. He has access to go somewhere where no other spirit can. I've never seen... Jeez, dude, she's got something wrong with her brand new phone, bro. I just bought the phone like 2 days ago, or 2 weeks ago. And she's telling me there's something wrong with it. There's a dark night of the soul. I'm going back to what do I spend my money on? The kids. They needed all kinds of clothes, so I spent hundreds of dollars on clothes and gadgets and fucking takeout food and shit. Just going back to that. I just had to throw that out there. She's getting on my nerves. And she doesn't even realize it, but I think she left her project again today. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm not going to deal with that right now. Anyway, so as you're going into the darkness, you're guided by higher levels of light. You have higher guides that are going in there. Higher guides are coming to get you through this. You know what I mean? As you're accessing darker levels of yourself, you're accessing higher levels of ascension, is how that works. Right? So this one, I just want to read this. They are known as seed crystals because they are said to have been found individually, buried in the sand and earth, rather than attached to a larger cluster. Way more crystals are. Aware of their oncoming destruction, the Lumerians imbued information about how to avoid the similar catastrophes on the crystals and buried them. They buried their knowledge and wisdom, their shadows, how to overcome yourself. Don't fall like we did. Don't fall to the things that we did. You see them? You see those crazy little lines? Let's see. This wisdom comes through inner paradoxes and where we are truly present, odd, creative flow, or states of surrender. It may come as riddles and in most unlikely places. Zen Buddhism taps into this using koans, paradoxical statements in the mind that the mind cannot fathom, to bypass traditional understandings and allow spiritual epiphany and a deeper knowledge of the soul to surface. All right, no, as a light worker, I see the light codes. I see the writing on the wall. I see the Holy Spirit speaking through all things, and I teach you that. And that's that psychic abilities. They're talking. Everything's talking. It's telling. Everything has a life in it. God put life in everything. And once you become one with that oneness, again, you understand what they're saying. If you're not in your brain, you can easily come from that state real fast when you put on your skin and now you're all in your thoughts. You have to clear your thoughts all the time. That's what they tell you to do as meditation. Clear your mind. Be in a, you know what I mean? Be in a good state of mind is what that means. You're not. You're not. Right? So in that, you have a clear channel. Clarity is what they always speak of. That way you're getting clear information being processed, and that's being receptive. Now, being, in your divine masculine, being in your masculine is taking action. Being in your feminine is being receptive. Receiving and giving, right, is what that means. So if you're out there doing, you can't be receiving. So it's to stop doing so much and start receiving more so you know what to do. Because you're just doing for the sake of doing. And that's that mass consciousness. Everybody's doing the same thing because this is what they're told to do. They all pull off of this idea of this is how we live. They follow this rules and this matrix of your mind. Okay. Are you keeping up? Sort of, kind of, yeah. So that's where those cards come from. On a Sunday, we are in the light. Do you hear that? The great sun, the source of all things. When I'm there, I bring you messages from the angels, all of the light. I'm in the light with them. I can get their messages directly to you. When I'm in the dark, I can't see the light. All I can see is the dark. So when I'm in the dark, I pull out all my dark cards and show you what darkness is in this dark that we can't see. I show you the unseen. Yes? Okay. We just got this book. Now, again, this is for beginners, but I have all of the gifts, so I'm going to teach beginners by my knowledge using this tool. This isn't going to teach me. I'm going to use this to teach you. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm a teacher because I've learned it, but I don't know how to teach it, so these are my teaching tools. I want to teach. Now, we haven't really opened this. We talked about it a little bit. I want to just I want to read you the contents. All right, mental skyscraper excursion. Sensitizing your sense of sight is chapter 2. Hearing, chapter 3. Smell, chapter 4. Touch and temperature, chapter 5. Touch and texture, chapter 6. Your sense of taste, chapter 7. Basic colors on chapter 8, and basic colors, chapter number 2 on chapter 9. Right there. Those are all your clear senses. We start working on your senses, which in essence is grounding techniques. Because again, this is what's going to happen. Your third eye is going to be open and you're going to start seeing all these visions. Your third eye is connected to, you know what I mean, to the ears. So you're going to start hearing the pinging, but then you're going to hear all of the other shit. Your smell is all there too. My daughter can smell lies. I don't know what they smell like, but she can smell it. It's a smell in the air that she knows somebody's lying. It's a joke. But she really developed it. I used to tell her that. She's like, how do you know I'm lying? I can smell it. Is what I used to tell her. It was a total lie. It was a total lie I told my daughter. She developed this sense. When she sees it, she smells it. Her brain told her that when she sees someone lying, it gave her a smell in her nose. She believes I told her that's how it works. So now she has a smell. Crazy, right? Belief systems. Touch and temperature. I became very temperamental when it comes to temperature. And that's why I'm trying to get the fuck out of America right now with this hot heat coming in. Very temperamental to temperature. And I got just as cold during this winter too. I was like, maybe it's my thin skin. You know what I mean? Texture, taste, right? Basic colors, deep relaxation, all right? Achieving your basic psychic level, creating your psychic shield, and that's it. You have to have your bubble up, right? You have to learn how to. Witches create a circle or cast a circle when they're doing shit. A psychic like me, nah, bro. I mean, even then, because if I look outside, it's eye connection. The eyes are connection, all of it. I read everything. I read energy, not your words. You never got to say shit, because mostly what you're saying is lies. You don't speak, because what you're going to say is programmed lies that you're not even aware is a lie. If I ask you how you are, you're going to say good, because you're programmed, that's your answer. You're never going to say bad. You've never told nobody you're doing bad. And when you know you're doing bad and you can't lie and say good, you still can't say bad. You just start crying because you can't lie. Don't speak, bro. Don't speak. I know just what you're thinking. All right, Gwen Stefani. She knows what you're thinking, I guess. I guess so do I. Getting rid of demons and other unwanted energies. Yep, that's it. Once they know you're awake, they're like, ooh, get her. And what is it? Because you're already in your darkness. They're trying to feed off your darkness before you get rid of it. They were liking that darkness. I don't know what a chalkboard is. Skywriting, visualizing your own body. I told you I have a body dysphoobia. I look at myself, I'm like, well, I guess this is who you are. Physically examining your own body. I did that. I told you. I look at pictures, I'm like, this is me, huh? What do I see? I don't. I stare at it long enough that it goes blank. I was staring at that picture that I put in the white dress, and I was trying to see if I showed too much skin and if it looked pretty. And I stared at it long enough, I didn't see skin. I couldn't see my body anymore. It just disappeared. You're like, really? Yeah, I don't know. Dictionary divination, pendulum divination, cards and colors divination, cards and symbols divination, telepathy training, psychometry tune-up, going to the beach of time, going physically into the past, going physically into the future, finding your career path, finding the best use of your psychic abilities, consulting with your spirit guides and guardian angels, asking for help, how to contact entities, animal communication, problem-solving methods 1, 2, 3, and 4, programming your own warning system, moving vehicles physically. I have done that. I do that. I told you that. I move them out of my way. Get out of my way. I'm driving down the highway. I change lights and shit too. I do all that weird shit. Why? It's just energy. It's electricity. Wake up call, reserving your parking space. I'm not sure what that means. Staying awake. I mean, in essence, I always get a front row parking space. I was like, dude, I'm so magical. I'm like the only person that can get parking in downtown. I really am. I always get a front row space. It's like a handicap space rated for me. Improving your skills at anything. Superior compensation or comprehension. And that's chapter 44 on page 177. Here's case studies. Interesting. So that's about that. Again, it's all through your mind, but not realistically, not through your thoughts. Now, I'm going to go back to the Palladians. The Palladians. What is the Pleiades? It's a star system. Just like the constellations, they're sending you transmissions. Do you believe in aliens? Well, they talk all about Christ in here. I'm going to start with the glossary and just read you some... Well, I mean, the dimensions are in there, but I want to read you some shit out of the glossary. Some basic terminology. Akashic Records. A collection of the past, present, and future experiences and learning for individual beings. Collective consciousness and all of existence. Records of all that has been, all that is, and all that shall be. Is it a place? No. I tried to tell you that. They try to make that, they try to create a place in your head by visionary, you know what I mean? They tell you to visualize that it's this hall and all of this shit is in there. They try to make you believe that you have access to other people's records is what it is. Okay, sure. That's it. They're trying to access your Akashic records. Read a book. I told you who I was, idiot. The only one you need to worry about is who you are. If you start working on you, you'll find out who you were, who you are, and who you're meant to be. It's so simplistic. And stop dressing up like everyone else. Alright, let me just kind of run through here. Archangels, the highest evolutionary level of angelic consciousness, still maintaining individualization. Self-motivated angels. Oh, I need to go back to that. I found that in the back of this book. What was in the back of this book? A message from your angels. Go figure. Alright, number 1, bonus meditation. Michael, day of the week, Monday, flame, indigo, gifts, courage, and protection. As we invoke Michael's indigo blue flame, you are filled with the courage and strength. You are ready to face challenges and obstacles. You can send this flame to your loved ones too. Number 2, Chamal. The day awake, Tuesday, flame, pink rose, gift, love, kindness, and compassion. Alright? Next, we invoke Archangel Chamal. Allow her pink rose fire to engulf you and feel yourself being filled with love, compassion for all living things, especially you. In these visualizations, again, they're called the Archangel Fire Oracles, so you learn to work with the colored flames of the fire, so you're burning through the bullshit. I'm a fire witch, fire sign, fire cell. Anyways, but they also teach you how to re-envision your wings, how to feel them, how to see the color flash from them. You get your wings back. Mine are glorious, enormous, big black wings. Beautiful. Beautiful. There's never even been such a thing. Okay, I'm lying. Raphael, day of the week, Wednesday. Flame, emerald green. Gifts, physical healing. Visualize Raphael's emerald green column of fire surrounding and inflaming you. Feel sense of the image and any physical illness, issues, or injuries being healed and resolved. Uriel, day of the week, Thursday. The flame, ruby red. The gifts, peace, emotional healing, and service. As we call upon Uriel, the pillar of fire turns ruby red. All misunderstandings with other people and situations are now melted away, and you can now clearly have everyone, see clearly how everyone is connected. You have a fresh perspective, understanding that every action you take affects the whole. Oh, I don't want to call for you. That's where you always be on a Friday. Fucking shit up. Gabriel, day of the week, Friday, flame, white, gifts, purification, communication, and hope. I will never invoke you, dude. I'm not even gonna do this. Fine, say it. Fuck. Oh, man. Man. He's dangerous. Man. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm bringing him into our... Oh, man, you don't want this, Angel. None of us do. Damn it. Alright, I gotta do it. Fight the fear. Oh, man. You guys are scared of the devil. There's nothing scarier than Gabriel and God's voice. Why? Because it's a side of God you don't want to see. Now, and that's like... Damn it, Gabriel. Now we invoke Gabriel's white flame of hope. All obstacles keeping us from aligning with your soul's purpose are dissolved. You know what you want and how to achieve it. That's your soul's purpose. He makes you go, bro. He makes you go. Number 6, Zadkiel. Saturday, the flame is violet. Gifts, transmutation. That's what we're going to do on a Saturn day. Next, we invoke the mighty Archangel Zadkiel, the keeper of the violet flame. What is that? That's the transformation of all darkness, bro. The violet flame is an absolute healer. Think about it. It's the hottest level of the flame is when it turns violet. That's when you're using your... Well, they would say the amethyst, but anything deeper becomes the citrine, and that's what I told you to carry. And that's with Metatron. Boop, boop. But you're still carrying Melchizedek in that too. Yep. Anyways, going back to it, here it goes. Negative energy and unresolved karma is burnt away and transmuted back into love and light. And that's what I tell you. I carry the violet flame. Alright, Metatron, day of the week, Sunday, flame, gold. wisdom, science, and knowledge. I told you, he's all about that shit. Finally, we invoke the mighty Archangel Metatron, the great spiritual teacher. You now understand the truth of your own magnificence and take responsibility for your life. We ask Lord Melchizedek to seal all these blessings. Open your eyes when you're ready. And that's it. Who's your angels of the week? Well, now you know which angels are working with you every day of the week. Don't forget to bring Jesus into that. Ha! See? And that's it. It's like you have to know who's available, who are your angels and stuff. But then again, I mean, there's them, and that's it. You have your guides. Going back to this. What did I say? What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. We were talking about archangels. Self-motivated angels, holding dominion in particular specialized areas, as opposed to serving angels who simply do as instructed by beings on higher evolutionary levels. That's my angels. That's my spirit guides. I told you, they just got to do what God tells them. They don't really do anything else but, deal with me and what God tells them to do. Let's see. Examples are Archangel Michael, who is in charge of the legions of light, who carries the sword of truth and protects beings on the physical plane who request it. He fights with truth, bro. What do you think he's fighting for you? What is my sword? Truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. That's what he kills with. Truth. Told you, bro. The truth shall set you free. That's how he frees you, is with your truth. It's a true story. Oh, God, here he comes again. Archangel Gabriel is the messenger of God and interfaces between dimensions, maintaining communication as needed. I mean, if you're not listening, he's going to make it heard. That's who God sent to yell at me. They and the other helpers also make sure that the human free will is honored by ethical beings. Ascending Master, that would be me. A being who has lived on earth in a body and reached enlightenment, experienced either conscious death or full body ascension, and attained Christ consciousness. All the members of the Great White Brotherhood, including the Sisterhood and Brotherhood of the Ray of the Ascending Christ, being at this level, attain divine alignment through the 9-dimensional aspects of the self simultaneously while still in human form. I am Ascending Master Lilith. I am here as Lilith in the body you named Lisa. You know what I mean? Ascending with the Christ consciousness. But I'm still Lilith. Don't fuck with me. I don't fuck with Jin. I just have his consciousness. You do too, if you could. But then what do? We sink into our low vibrational ways, and I become a Lilith again just to heal it and rise again. Why do we fall? So that together we can rise. All right, ascension. Translation of a spirit and physical body together to the 4th or 5th dimension from the 3rd without experiencing a physical death. Okay? You're not... I mean, I guess if you die, you will enter the 4th and 5th dimension, but you don't get to hang out there because you have more karma. You have more ties to this world that you need to come down. You didn't learn all your lessons. You can't, and that's where it is as I learn my lessons, I go to the 4th, the 5th, and so on and so forth. I'll explain them in just a minute. Due to a cellular vibrational frequency increase, what I tell you, you're on a higher level. You're a higher level of consciousness, which is what? You're working through love, joy, peace, happiness, kindness, long-suffering. You're working through, you know what I mean? Forgiveness, understanding, compassion. All of that Christedness that you're not working through right now. Okay? Anyways, let's see. Vibrational frequency increases beyond the maximum number of vibrations per second at which the body can remain physical. And that's what I was trying to tell you about these. These are frequencies. Which ones? Oh, gosh, come on. You keep teaching me up. I'm going to just read you the table of contents about the frequencies. Okay, there's a whole lot about this. The rapture, all kinds of shit. You need to really get this. The testing phase, process of purification, sessions for sacred surrender. All right, the messages. Come on. Cupid, oh gosh, please just give me the cards, please. Here it is. All right, the first one is the magnetism of Eros. Okay, the next one, and this is a frequency, is the Cupio de Solvi. The next one is Obadirai. The next one is Anna Poes. The next one is the Queen of the Nagas. The next one is the Shekinah. Then you're in the 7 blessings of Eve. Then you're in the frequency of Bathkol. Then you're in the frequency of the Dakini of light infinite light. Then the Archon Barbello, the sacred scar, the perfume of Sophia. After that, we're in Bastet of the frequency of 174. Then we go into the Yogini of 285. Then the spirit of the bear in the frequency of 396. The sun at 417 hertz. The 520 hertz mandala of the heart. The tantra of the 639 hertz. The Solve Poluthi in the 741 frequency. And it just keeps going on forever until you're at what? The Ishtar Lion Gate 888 frequency. Their ascensions. I'm going to explain this. Now, what's her goofy bitch ass that I told you, magnetize yourself when I went after the tarot readers. She likes to tell people that they've made paradigm shifts or timeline jumps. That they've left the fucking third dimension. Bitch, they're at work right now. They have not left the third dimension, and neither have you. You're still on the fucking conscious. You still are... Excuse me, I'm getting angry. It's just fire. That's all it is. It's not... You know, it's just fire. It's just fire. Let me put the fire out. None of these people have done any of this. You're lying to them. You're saying that they have left their consciousness, but they have not. They are dead at work right now, thinking about their lunch, and they're stalking a twin flame that you told them is their sacred union. You are a big-ass fucking liar, and you believe the lies you tell other people. You read it in a book, and you put it on a video. I'm going to explain right now what a paradigm shift is. I want you to look at her, and I'm going to tag her, and look at how many of her videos say that they are shifting every week. I'm going to explain what a paradigm shift is. How are they doing this? And still watching you. Still needing you for guidance. How can you shift your consciousness and still need the mass consciousness to survive? It's impossible, bro. You're a liar. And I'm the truth. Who gave me that truth? Archangel Michael. Watch out for Gabriel. Anyways, going back to it. This accompanied by a state of spiritual enlightenment and conscious alignment through the 9-dimensional aspects of the individuated self. In third-dimensional reality, the person ascending would simply become invisible and disappear. Now you see me. No, you don't. In the essence, I'm really here, but I'm not. I'm a phantasma. I'm really here, but I'm not. Only my physical body. All right, now we've got the astral body and the astral planes. Do I really want to get into all this? Fuck. An astral body is outside of your conscious. It's another form of your being. When you leave your brain, you're now in your astral body. And that's what that video said. He said, what happened? I pushed your astral self out of your physical being. What is that? Your spirit. But the astral self is made up of the mental and the emotional. And it's all caught in the physical. Mind, body, and spirit. Right? All right. Exact etherical double of the physical body, which leaves the body while we sleep and travels in the astral or higher planes. How do I access all these levels? Through my astral. My body's still here. You're looking at me, but I'm not here. I mean, half of my conscious brain is, and that's that dolphin programming. When a dolphin sleeps, it sleeps with one eye open because half of its conscious is fully awake. Only half of its brain is asleep. And that's these higher levels of frequencies. The highest level is the theta, where there's no movement and you're moving at the fastest movement there ever was. In the place of no movement, which is, as we say, nirvana, where you're in meditation. And that's why I say I just sit still. And absolute stillness is the force of light, where it's moving at the force of light. You have to reach that state of stillness to go outside of your mind. Now, for them to call me crazy, that's stupid. I'm intellectually superior than all human beings because I can leave the context of my mind, bring information, viable, truth information that can be Carfaxed to the fullest into this realm. Not only that, but I told you, scientifically, I can show that with the right equipment, I can show them if they hook my head up to a fucking monitor, I can show them how I can create a thought. I can think it and show them how a matter would be created in an R3D. I can show them with the right technology that I can sit in this room and they can put electronic equipment in another place, and I can project my astral self there to activate their equipment. I can show that I can do this stuff. That there is a part of me that I can access out, that I can project outside of myself to wherever I need. But that's what the government wants too. Remember that? You remember Suicide Squad, where they brought the witch in and she was able to go and get their answers from over there? How can she do that? I could do it too. And that's the Night Stalker. I just need to know what it looks like. I can see the labyrinth underneath the fucking Vatican, a place where nobody's ever been. I can access it and get in there from here, but I can't bring it back. I can't bring those physical documents here. But I know they're there. I can do all that stuff. So can you. How? Working through your mind, your thoughts, the dark ones first. I told you how this all works. While we sleep, the astral body contains our conscious and goes into other realms to act out and heal karmic patterns, clear the subconscious, learn from the higher beings, create the future, heal the past, interact with the humans, and explore. I do this all on a conscious level here in the here and now. I do this in a woke state. My astral body contains contains all my consciousness. All right? It comes from those other realms, and it's acted out here. And I heal karmic patterns here with my twin flames, clearing the subconscious. Right? That's what Russ does. We reenact a past life, which is me and Lucifer. Right? We reenact it here, past realms, the conscious. These are karmic patterns from the past realms. We learn from our higher selves, and then we change the future, healing our past and interacting with humans as we explore. I do it all right here. I'm a multidimensional being, but so are they. They're incarnated beings from the past too, so that we can reenact the past here to change the future. But we're still reenactments because we're still on the old pattern. We are going to do what we did in our past lives. That's our wisdom. We learned what to do in our past lives, so we apply that wisdom to this life. But this is an opportunity where we can become more wise and change it. And that's those patterns, those shifts, those timelines. But here we meet to play, you know what I mean? Here we meet to play this game again. Each of them, each of my twin flames is a past life karmic lover. Each of them. Wolfman is who? Hades. So what happens? We play this story. God keeps trying to make me God wants me to marry you, and he wants me to surrender to you. And I have to accept it and walk in it. All right, this is past life. This is what's happening. You don't realize you're accessing your Akashic records as you're playing them out with the people in front of you. You just don't know. And they're people that you think you've never met before, but you know them on a soul level. This is what you guys came here to do, is reenact again and change history. Break the patterns. Isn't that great? Astral planes, non-physical realms of consciousness. They're not physical. You leave outside of your mind, corresponding to the physical world, but not of it. Lower astral planes are referred to as the Bordos in Buddhism, the dark underworld, hell, Hades in Western society. All right, and I am the goddess of hell. I am of the dark world, the dark planes, the lower astral planes. There's nothing lower than earth right now. This is hell on earth. So I teach you how to walk through your own personal hells, which is your conscious thinking of this place. When you leave your hell, you create a heaven for yourself inside, and it literally projects outside. Where people, you are the light, like I am. And that's it. Bobby's like, I think that you're the devil trying to convince me that the grass is greener in hell. You're in hell. I'm trying to get you through your hell so you can turn this 50 shades of brown out here green. Because it's your thoughts that's creating our reality. All of you are on the mass consciousness that this is the way of life, and you're creating this wheel of life for us that's destroying everyone. Every single one of you that I can heal through belief heals the world by your beliefs. If you see a better world, like I do, if you start believing in a better world, you'll start walking in it and creating in it, and it becomes that world. Your belief becomes other people's belief. You give them something to believe in. And they start creating from your belief system, which is nothing more than our imagination of a better world. But based on our imagination, we create it. All things are created out of the imagination of someone. Benjamin Franklin swore he could get a fucking lightning bolt and find a way to fucking power shit for us. We have cars that run off that lightning bolt right motherfucking now. You guys are having sex with dolls that run off that lightning bolt right now. It was an imaginary idea that nobody thought possible. And it became possible because he believed and others followed that belief system. If you so shall believe what he said, bro, we can make this heaven on earth. Or at least I can walk around on heaven on earth. But when I'm in a bad attitude, then it's hell on earth. All of you are in a bad state of mind because of your programming. You don't live in hope and faith and new beginnings and opportunities and abundance. You live in fear and insecurities, regrets, shames, lack mentality. I mean, the end of the world mentality. Okay? I sink to your level because I am your level. I'm trying to bring you up to a higher level of consciousness by healing you through your own pains. They consist of parasitic entities, denied aspects of human conscious. Throughout form entities, or thought forms have become self-aware and self-sustaining, are projections created by negative emotions, the realm of the boogeyman, monsters, and your worst fears, agendas. And that's what it is. What is in your darkness? When emotions are held onto and believed into a basis of truth instead of being seen as simply as emotions, they become negative. Examples: phobia, revenge, lusty sexual fantasies, devoid of love. Meaning you guys literally turn on the internet and watch sex. This is not love, and you go to town on yourself, bro. Thinking about, you know what I mean, like, I hate to be foul, but I don't want this thought, but like Jonica and Russ. Who's seducing who? What kind of gross sex are you having? This isn't love. Can you imagine him just taking his shirt off and dropping his pants and she just has to come give him head? I'm gonna throw up. It's just lust. And he said it too, and nasty, you know what I mean? He has a thing with fucking, you know what I mean, with porn. Like, there's no love in this, bro. You're self-satisfying. You're literally about to fuck this person so you could blow a load, bro. And she's about to let you fuck her just so she can get a purse. Or whatever it is. Apple Pay. I had to stop right there. The song is about to destroy him. It's not. He thinks it's clever. He thinks that his shadows are cute. And that everybody has these shadows where they buy love. And then I played handsomer. But the money makes me handsomer. Bitch, you ugly. There is no way. Cut your hair, shave your face, put on some clothes, change your life, and maybe you'd be acceptable to a real woman. But no, you want these money-greedy hoes because your love language is Apple Pay and you love to give that cash away. Jonica's John. This isn't who you are, bro. God didn't create you like this. You were just in your shadows, bro, and you love it, bro. You love being a dirty version of yourself, and you love bringing that dirty version of yourself out in other people. You love when they sing these terrible songs to you, bro. You see yourself in them and it makes you feel good that all these people are as weak as you with the same unhealed patterns. Same as Marshall. He loves it, dude. He loves that everybody hates as much as him. He loves how much I hate the world. He loves how much I want to kill the world, bro. He loves that about me. He loves seeing his pain in another. I don't love the way you lie, bro. I don't love the way you hurt. Ali's about to come out here week after week after week after week, pouring out his shadows on people. Which in essence is what? Opening their shadows. He's pouring his wounds out and he's opening yours. And you're going to buy a ticket to a wounded show, an unhealed show. What did Kanye put on his album? Did anybody buy that shit? Now let's go back to Lil Wayne. He's about to drop an album. What is he going to tell about himself? This isn't a self-expression. An album is telling about yourself. Are you guys listening to what they're saying? And you're really standing there, you know, at their concerts with a drink in your hand, poison in your cup, and you're praising their pain and suffering. You're praising their materialism. You're praising their egotism. You're praising all the worst things. Some of you are going to pass out drunk. Some of you are going to get raped. Some of you aren't going to make it home. Some of you are going to be robbed. Some of you are going to get pregnant. Some of you are going to be broke. All of this is the environment that we call the hip-hop industry, and a hip-hop show, and Summer Jam, and, you know what I mean, the fire festivals. And this is what our teens come together to do at these music festivals. Take drugs, drink. You know what I mean? This is how they liberate themselves. We all find a way to liberate ourselves, but are we giving them something to liberate themselves with? Or are we pushing them into their pains? While they're sitting there drinking and getting high, and they're all alone, and they're looking for attention, and now we're singing songs at them about hate, or rejection, or obsession, or, you know what I mean, materialism. Is this really building their character, or we're destroying the character of the youth? Look at me. Rap music made me. And taking this off, you know what I mean? It's like, whoa, fuck. Rap music didn't make me. The streets made me. And rap used to be about the streets. So it was a frequency of my life. You guys' frequency are fucking with their lives, bro. You're holding on to fucked up fairy tale, fucked up stories. And that goes back to Russ especially. Either you had a fucked up life and you're not telling anyone, or you're fucking trying to make up a fucked up life to make yourself look cool. And there's nothing cool about having a fucked up life, bro. Either your fucking parents really fucked you up and you need to deal with it, or you're fucking a fucked up person trying to make it look like they weren't good enough. And you need to deal with it. And that's where it is. His whole fucking catalog paints that his mom couldn't afford shit, his dad couldn't afford shit, and they never did shit for him. But the whole catalog also says how they're the most important people and he loves them to death, and I would never fucking put anyone above them. There's huge lies there. Is there any truth behind what he says? Is what it is. What is the truth, bro? Where's the truth in all these lies? What are you trying to tell us? All I get out of it is he's a fucking materialistic bastard. He's desperate for attention, and he will put on any show he can to sell a ticket, bro. That's all I got out of it. You want to say that he's hurting, but he won't show you that he is. So in essence, he's not. He's a narcissist. He's oblivious to his words and actions and how they affect others. But in the essence, why so? Because he has no emotional awareness of his own. You can watch him in his interviews, and when people are talking to him, the lights are on, but nobody's home, bro. They're literally programmed responses coming out of his brain of something he read. He's literally coming up with a fucking answer to your question before you stop thinking. Not because he's smarter than you, but because it's programmed. He's absolutely not smarter than you. Because watch how they pin him in a corner when they interview him. And he shows that he's a fucking idiot. When he runs out of programmed responses, he doesn't know what to say. And that's it. He's always trying to say the right thing. Whatever will tickle the ear. I'm not sure if he's a pathological liar, like he lies about everything, or if this is just you know what I mean, the illusionary facade of this persona that he calls Russ. Russ is a liar. Russ is a cheat. Russ is a material little girl. Russ is begging for attention. Russ has no identity or friends. Russ is disconnected from family or any sense of love and actual authenticity. He doesn't have any real relationships. Russ has a very cold and distorted life. Similar to Eminem, to Lisa, to Logic, to Lewis. Is Russ going to wear this name and this conscious and this life forever? Or is he going to stop being this person that he created, that his parents and that he lives up to, called Russ? This is what Russ is, what Russ has created for himself and what his image is. Right? This persona is Russ the rapper. Okay, but when you break him down to all the finite pieces of it, is this who you are, Russ? And you want to be mad at me because I don't believe it? I might be the only one that believes that you're better than what you're projecting yourself to be. And even then, I can't believe it. It's God. I can't even really see it. I can't see it. I believe in something I can't see because God says. I'm faithful to God's belief. I don't have the understanding. This is beyond my understanding, as the Bible says. I don't have the understanding, because based on what I understand about you, you are literally the scum of the earth. But God says there's something else here. And I spend a lot of time trying to sort through it to see what God sees. But how can I see what he sees when you're pushing your version of you out on us, which is exactly what nobody wants. Being you never worked for you, and the fact that Ali's trying to be you and other people is hilarious to me. But that's what happens when you become a person of power. People emulate you, and then they put on your karma, and they become a loser like you. Eminem's fans, bro. They're unforgiving assholes that have a chip on their shoulder. They're angry at the world. They're stalkers. They're drug addicts and alcoholics. They're abusers. They're everything that he is. In order to relate with this man, you have to have something in common with this man. What do they have in common with him? All of his darkness, because that's what Eminem is. Not Marshall, and I never call him by that. Marshall is not that person. And I have to remind him all the time, you're not this motherfucking person, bro. You've never let Marshall live, and Marshall's a good guy. You created these fucking guys, and you think people love you, but look at what the love you're getting. It's hate. Stop being Eminem. Stop being Slim Shady and be Marshall. I love Marshall. The world will love Marshall if you would just stop being Eminem. And that's where I tell you, I'm not Lisa. There's parts of her that live here. I still wear her skin. I'm not her, bro. I'm not the conscious creation that was Lisa. Her programming of what made her still is in my brain, and I work through that, and I understand how I lived as this person named Lisa. But I am not that person. I still wear the skin that you named it, but even then I tell you, just like Kanye, I don't want Ye. I want Kanye. I will not accept Ye. And I will not accept whoever this version of Russ is. And I don't talk to him like that. I call him Russell. He's not a Russ. He's a Russell. He'd be rustling my feathers. You're not who you think you are. And that's a great thing. That's an amazing thing. And that goes back to Joe Bart. He's 23 and he's realized, I am not this body, bro. I gotta keep this body going. I gotta do the things that this body does to keep it, active in this world. This is not me, bro. And he maintains the life of Joe Bart. But he expands Joe Bart into other places. Because who was Joe Bart really? A philosopher from a different time. So when Joe Bart got to a place, where did he study? Philosophy. After all this time of being famous YouTuber, TikToker, all these things he's famous for, what is he really famous for? his philosophical way of thinking. He sees the world differently. But people see him as a gamer. But what he really does is he gives you his opinion. You can say that he studied philosophy, or like if you know me, if you know what I know, you know that he is one of our greatest philosophers from another time, reincarnated to change the youth's vision. And that's what he does. My kids listen to him all day, his perception on what he's watching, and I love his perception. He's a great mind, and he inspires great minds. He inspires thinking. I don't know if he's really good at video games. He plays video games with people. I saw you yesterday, you dressed up in costumes because you lost a bet, and they were really tight on you. That was fun. That was fun. You know, he's entertaining. He has fun with his life, but he's not his life, and that's in his philosophies. He knows that he's not this name. He doesn't really know where he is. He doesn't know God, and that's philosophers. They didn't believe in religion. They believed in something beyond religion, as he does. He's no more than he always has been. He's just here to become more, to master what he didn't master in the other lives, and he's well on his way. He's in 23, and he's already breaking the ceilings of understanding. Keep going, bro. All you got to do is teach them like I do, to see it a different way. They don't have the eyes to see. Their brain doesn't work that way. They don't challenge their thoughts. You do, though. And the people that watch you are the young minds. You're teaching them to think. You're important. You're very important. You're not just a YouTuber. And that's what it is. He's just, I don't know, he does a lot of stuff, he tells you. And then he feels bad about wasting hours smoking weed and laughing. No. You're such a great service to man. Don't feel bad about enjoying the little things of life that you do when you do so much for the world. And that's what Pop did. He changed the world by teaching people how to think differently. Kobe changed the world by teaching you how to think differently. He still had a job, but his real job was to teach you to think differently. Michael Jackson taught you to think differently. He taught you to love. Mac Miller taught you to think differently and to love. DMX taught you to think differently and to love. Nipsey taught you to think differently and to love. When you start thinking differently, you're going to access these higher dimensions of beings that are on a different continent. Dude, as soon as I said that, at 1:22:40, it just went quiet. I lost my connection. I said I was going to teach you all the dimensions, but we're so far away from that. Let me go back to this. When emotions are held onto and believed to be the basis in truth, instead of being seen as simply emotions. What does this mean? All right, listen. I'm going to say it again. When emotions are held onto, meaning there's a couple of weeks back, those that witnessed it, I'm asking people, what do you believe is evil? Okay, here's this emotion that I'm holding on to. My conscious, Lisa, the younger Lisa, the child version of Lisa, tells me my mother was evil. Are held on to belief based in truth instead of being seen as simply emotions. And I had to tell myself, there's this argument of my higher self and my lower self, where my self is saying my mom was evil because of her actions. And my higher self is saying, no, she wasn't. Her actions were a result of hurt. She's not evil. So right there, I'm taking this emotion of pain and a belief that that she was evil, and I'm transmuting it. I'm changing my belief system with the emotion of pain, right? It becomes negative. Examples: phobia, revenge, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Lustful fantasy, devoid of love and spiritual connection, repressed and justified fear, anger, rage, hate, blame, self-pity, victimhood, control, and greed. Right. Marshall lived in all of those understandings of life. He felt that way about his life and everyone. That's how I woke up feeling too. I hated everyone, just like him. I hated myself and everyone for everything I did and everything that had been done to me. As I start alchemizing and changing my belief system, I teach him how to see it different. He saw his mom as his mom. But when I taught him how I saw my mom and how I had to change my view on my mom, and as he saw me as a woman, he started to change his belief system of what his mother was. He started to relearn things. He thought his mother was evil and was all of these things. Now, through witnessing my mother and how I replayed, he learned more about himself, and that's the mirror. You know what I mean? She wasn't evil. She was hurt. We changed his thoughts. We changed his truth to a different truth. It wasn't a lie. Everyone believed his truth. He told everyone she was this bad person, and because he believed it. But then he learned to believe she wasn't a bad person through, his twin flame and shit. And that's it too. He believed himself as a terrible father, a terrible, husband and all of that. He learned through my stories that he wasn't terrible. He was learning. He was learning. They both were. He learned a lot, and that's where we teach people through our experiences. They can have a different perception, and they can let go of some of their darkness and become lighter through your darkness, of course. These energies, as well as physical abuse, rape, drugs, alcohol indulgence, and negative thinking, past life murder or suicide, and absence of spiritual connectedness, pulls humans into the lower astral planes. You're in hell. The hell of your own creation of your mind. It's a consciousness. What is a plane? It's a realm of consciousness corresponding with the physical world, but not of it. One day, you can be, on a Thursday, it's heaven on earth for me today. But come tomorrow night, whenever, between the next 48 hours, it's a crime scene. I'll be in the dark and I'll be in hell again. It's a state of consciousness. I'm trying to take you out of your hells and into heaven. And that's Bobby. You're trying to convince me that the grass is greener in hell. You see my heaven as your hell because you're afraid of where I am. You're afraid of homelessness. You're afraid of where I am. But I'm not a bad person, and you know God put me here, and you know that I'm protected. You're just afraid of this life. Everybody's afraid of where I am. They would never want to be me. They think I'm in hell. In facing my own fears, which was I'm going to be homeless and I won't have anything and I'll be poor and nobody will love me, I found heaven. When I woke up, I was so ashamed of who I was and what I was that I was sure that Bobby wouldn't accept me and love me, and my whole thing was, and it went through all of them, more and more people. You're never going to accept me and love me the way that I am. I don't know if they, really ever did, but I learned to do that through this journey. So you fast forward all the way to the end. I'm finally ready to speak with him. I've been running from him for years. I'm afraid, I'm ashamed of my life now, more than I ever was. I'm more ashamed of myself than I was before. You wouldn't take me when I was at my best. You're never going to take me now. God said go. And so I'm talking to him, and he's like, are you homeless? My biggest fear, bro. He's gonna reject me if he knows this, bro. He's never gonna fuck with me if he knows that I'm this bad out. That God has done this to me. That I have nothing. He's never gonna fuck with me. He's not gonna leave his wife or come nowhere near me when I'm worth nothing. Yeah, dude. I've been homeless for 2 years. Since I last saw you. I left that house and lost everything. I had to face him, dude. I had to tell him and get ready for him to reject me. He didn't. But at the same time, he can't see a future with me. Nobody can. Especially when I'm not getting a job and doing anything to make it better. But I'm asked not to, and it's the hardest battle. And they don't respect that. And that's what I said. People sit on the outside, and they watch you fuck up your life, bro. And they are telling everyone about it. And they love it, bro. And they don't think you're winning. And they think that, this is the end of you, but it's just the beginning. And everything's gonna be okay. He was happy to talk to me when I had, my music career, and I had a good job, and I had 2 cars and money and everything, and I'm making videos, and I'm all popular, and I'm going to games, and I'm talking to famous people and all of that. He wanted to be my friend then. But that's what I did, you know what I mean? Like, who doesn't want to be a friend of a, you know what I mean, a socialite? Who didn't want to be Lisa's friend? She was popular, and she was, you know, she was all these great things. I made myself that, so that I would be likable. Who wouldn't want to be, you know what I mean? But, taking all that off, I still am her, and I feel that I'm more likable, and I have more value than I did with all of that stuff. And if God so shall chose to let me go and go do this again, I've shown you I can work 12-hour hard man shifts. I'll do anything to rebuild my life more than any man has ever done. But he told me not to. He joked the shit out of me, bro. And I've got to do it. And it hurts my pride. Why am I crying? Because it's pride. I'm really okay. I'm loved. I have money. I'm okay. But when I gotta face everyone, that pride hurts, bro. My pain is my pride. When I gotta face you and be an all-powerful nothing. And that's where you don't realize it is. You are all powerful with nothing. And even with nothing, you will be powerful. You are powerful. People build their power off the things they have. You know, Mr. Apple Pay, give your cash away. If he didn't have any cash to give, he wouldn't have anything that anybody wants. And even though I don't have money to give, people still want to be around me. And not because of money, but because of my way of, you know, how I see things. Just like Joe Bart. I don't want to play video games with you. I just want to have a conversation. Your conversation is so satisfying. It can change, you know, it's a real connection. It doesn't have to come with a meal or a price tag. The way you think is attractive and entertaining to me. Not the way you make money or the way you dress up or where you live and blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, you know, like, humility. And that's what I said is like, fuck. God makes you take it off, bro, for real. And to go from that, you know what I mean, a queen of my own kingdom to a humble present of God, you know, a priestess, you know, but Buddha gives it more, you know what I mean, he doesn't give you pride, it gives more respect, that this is even how the Buddhists did it, this is how the Hindus did it, this is how the Christians did it. If you're going to be a priestess, you've got to do this. This is the rites and the rituals that you must go through, that every ascending master and every freaking top dog has to go. You must give up the material world to be one of us. But still live in the material world? And that's the difference. They live in fucking temples and shit. Templetons. I live in the real world, bro. I live here. Ground zero. Hell on earth. Who provides for me? God. And that's the hard part, is people don't understand. This is the hardest thing. The surrender to God, not to be the man that I created for myself. The protector of my children. The provider of my children. I had to become that for them. For myself. Only to, to unlearn it all. My stomach's hurting. And that's what I said. Do you hear it? My darkness is my light. My situation, this dark situation that God has put me in, this hell, is my heaven. I found heaven in my hell. I found myself in absolute nothing. When you get old and your children leave and you don't have all these things and your hair withers and you stand in front of the mirror, who are you? Are you the skin that you're wearing that people see, or is there something underneath you that people don't see? People don't see me. They just see the body of Lisa moving through this world. Trying not to be Lisa is painful. Lisa wants to exist. She wants to have control. She wants to have some kind of seniority. She wants to have some kind of pride. She wants a home and a happy family, a job, a new car. She wants the life that all of you live, because that conscious is part of this conscious. Lisa was part of this world. She wants to be part of the world always. But little by little, Lisa has to die for me to live. It's called an ego death, where a part of you dies so that you can be born. It transforms and you're reborn. But it's your ego, it's your personality, it's who you are. You have to give up who you are to be something you don't even know what it is. But you become better. And that's it. How can I get a man to leave, to walk with me into nothing? Jesus is here. He's walking us. I don't know. Fuck. I can't. You won't understand my path until you start taking your own. And I'm told that all of our paths lead to the same place. All water runs to the same river. All streams flow south is what they say. It's hard because you're still in this body, and the body is made up of the ego, the self, the persona, the name. It's like you take off this mask, is what Carl Jung said. Yeah, but you don't take off the skin. You don't get new skin. People don't get to see the new you. You don't get a new programming. You don't get a new car. I mean, in essence, maybe, but you guys think that if you put stuff on your skin, you're a new person. You know what I mean? If you cut your hair, or if you buy a new car, or you get a new girlfriend, you're a new person. You're not. You're still the same person with more shit to maintain. My stomach is killing me. I'm about done. I'm gonna finish this, and I'm gonna have to pick this up later. Fuck, my daughter told me to come to the... No, she said to fix her phone. Never mind. There's also higher astral planes that correspond to physical worlds, such as geometric planes, the causal plane, interlinking communication and networks, past and future, etherical doubles of physical existence and experience, and the Akashic records. These realms are generally accessed during sleep by the astral body, the dark polarity of the fourth and fifth dimensions. The beings on these realms impulse humans via their vices, negative thought forms, repressed emotions, and denied or unhealed shadow sides. Alright, and that's what we unleashed yesterday. Well, God did. I just told you about it. It's not like I was standing there, like I had something to do with it, like I opened a gate or something. In the essence, it's just, unleash the awareness, I guess, is what it meant. So what happened? These beings, these voices, I told you, they're demons, they're just instigators. They're going to bring up what's already inside of you so that you can heal it. You're unaware of your dark patterns and feelings, so they're going to bring them to the surface so you can heal them. Everybody, well, kind of, yeah. And then we looked at the Bible, and it said that it aligned with my entire teaching that for the next 5 months this is going to happen, why Pluto's in retrograde. What is Pluto? Death, transformation, and rebirth. You're not going anywhere I haven't gone. I'm just trying to teach you how to get through it. It's not somewhere I don't go all the time. I just went through the darkness right there, reliving those pains. It was just a conversation, bro, but you don't understand where it put my mentality. He asked me a question that I'm scared for my life to give to him because I'm afraid of all the rejection in the world. I put myself back in that moment, and I felt the fear of where I stood when he asked me that. That's what it means to project yourself back to the past. I literally put myself back in that conversation, and I feel it in my skin of how scared I was. And what are you going to say to me? Right? And then I face the fear. The fear is real. That's what you don't get. The fear is real. It's just a feeling, but the fear is real. I'm not wrong to think that he thinks so less of me because I haven't got a job, a house, and got my life together. I'm not wrong. You know, he's not wrong to call me crazy because I don't think like other people, and I don't act like other people, and I don't do what other people do. He's not wrong to tell me to put this shit away and get my life together. He just wants what's best for me. He knows I'm suffering doing this shit. That you know what I mean? He saw me have a great life, and now I live out of my car. He doesn't want that for me. Nobody did. Nobody wanted to see that. They couldn't even believe it, knowing how hard I worked. Why would she just do this to herself? She's crazy. Something's wrong with her. She would not destroy her life like this. She wouldn't give up that house. You sold your car for $400? For what? Are you on drugs? No, I bought all this spiritual stuff. Nah, I'm not a 3D being. I was. What's the difference? The way you think. I used to think like you. And sometimes those thoughts, you know, the patterns come in, and I'll be like, what the fuck? Where'd that thought come from? Where'd that feeling come from? It comes from a memory. We go back and we change the way we think. And now I have to change the way I live based on this new way of thought. And that's what happened to you, Hades. You couldn't accept a new way. You saw the truth right in front of you. She's there. This is the girl you're waiting for. She's ready to submit to you. What did you have to do? All you had to do was face your fear and make a connection. Contact me. But you were too scared. So then what happens? Now you gotta go back and face your fears another way. And that's it. I didn't want to contact you, bro. I was scared. Especially after what I had said to you before. But did I not send you an email? Did I not send you straight through your business email and tell you to contact me for the Emperor position? Or no, for the High Priest position is what I said in the email. I had to put my pride down and surrender to the possibility that this is what God wants for me. And I had to do that with each and every one of you. My biggest fear, oh God, you want me to marry something like Russ? I will never do that. Well, as Lilith, he kept trying to get me to submit to men. And he's going to keep doing it until, you know what I mean? Until I've mastered the submission of this. That was my thing. I did not submit to men. So I did that. But you didn't walk in it. Nobody ever did. I'm not surprised. Because I know how hard it is to fucking walk in the truth that's presented for you. God is literally giving you a paradigm shift. That's what you need to hear before I finish this up. It's a new timeline. What is a paradigm shift? Hold on, let me find it. There's a definition in here. When a person or a group completely drops a way of thinking, being, or behaving that has previously been set and predictable. An example, when a person breaks away from a group consciousness that says you only have one life and all you have to do is survive the best way you can, and creates a new paradigm for himself or herself based on the purpose for all life is spiritual evolution, and we will continue cycling in and out of lifetimes until that purpose is fulfilled. So I did it on a Lilith level, and the next level was to do it on a Persephone level. To be an empress, I had to completely surrender. In essence, here it goes. I'm reliving the past. Now, do it better. So I didn't want to accept the fate. I didn't want to accept God's calling on my life that he wanted me to submit to you. Even though there was no reason not to submit to you. I had my reasons. I had my fears. I had my, I was still holding on to the idea of guys from the past. I had all of these reasons to believe that you weren't going to be good enough for me. But then I submitted to it. I submitted to this new truth, and I walked in it. And that's what I mean, is I walked towards it, but it ends up being a blocked wall. And what it was, my healing facing my fear. I didn't want to submit to you. I didn't want to surrender. I don't want to give you a chance. I didn't just give you a chance. I gave you all the power. But you didn't know what to do with it. And that's okay too. You're going to relive this another time. That's what it means, is overcoming your... If you're not brave enough to overcome this lesson right now, okay. It will come back though. You'll have to face it again. And maybe not with me. And that's what I meant about these guys. It's like, you know, going after Marshall. Do you know what kind of fears I had to face to take my shot at Marshall? To take my shot at Lewis? Again, this is a girl that shut down, that wouldn't give any man a chance. And then I kept going back and giving that guy a try. I said, go give him another try. No, do you know what he did last time? Do you know what happened last time? It's not going to be the same. Oh, really? It really ended the same. No, but do you feel the same? No, I have a different perception. And that's it. You might, with the retrograde again, you really might have to repeat your patterns over and over and over. Some of them I don't have to fully repeat. I just have to put myself in that mind state. Some of them I have to physically do. Like, I literally had to give him another blowjob. Why? Because I wanted to see it in action. I forgot the first one, bro. I wanted to see it. It was a true thing. I wanted to see what I was doing. And then I got choked. Because I was watching. And not paying attention. And that's where it is. I could be at two places at once. I mean, yeah, I'm physically here, but I'm actually watching too. And who else is watching? The whole universe. And especially my spirit guides. On that note, I'm going to have some lunch and crunch, and got a moon cycle kind of trying to fuck with me, but I'm having a better cycle to this. I'm cycling. And what's that? God. And that's it too. It's like, oh, he's flushing me again. He's flushing it. In the essence, you weren't going to come give me a baby, so he's going to just flush my system. I was supposed to hold out until the full moon. You guys don't understand how this works. Well, better luck next month, God. What's next month? The full moon in Sagittarius. We'll have adventurous sex, is what I said. Well, I guess we're not having, you know, death sex. Orgy sex and shit. In the essence, that's what it is. Babies are made out of greatness. They're supposed to. You guys are making them out of lustful shit. And that's it. Oh well. I guess I'm not having, you know, full moon altered sex to the full moon in Scorpio. And probably because you weren't my Scorpio. I need an old priest and... Just kidding. I'm having too much fun. It's a Lilith thing. Did you guys get it? Probably not. I told you wouldn't, because you don't think. Or you think too much. You think too little of yourself, is what they say. I'm going to tag everyone, and hopefully you got something out of this other than the blowjob. But I always leave that out there for you, because what? I am the succubus. I love you guys. Later, haters.